Hello, hello, hello. It's Mindset Monday. About to get it started. We're going to piggyback today, y'all, on what we talked about last week, the man you want. And you guys asked me some questions last week. So we're going to kind of go over the questions, make sure everybody got their answers, and then we're going to go into the continuation. So last week we talked about the man you want and being ready for him when he comes. So now, last week it was several people on the live that was either contemplating divorce, was in an unhappy marriage. And like I told you last week, I'm not telling anybody to get divorced. That's a personal decision. It took me a minute to get to my decision to do that. So you just have to pray about that. And if that's what you guys decide, but I tell you to try everything you can before you do that, because the other side, when you make that decision to do it, is tough. So the ones of you that was on the live that had been married a long time and it just wasn't working anymore, it's a hard decision on the other side when you make that choice to divorce. So you have to be ready to push through it. And the other question you guys asked me was, how did I know Alex was the one? Well, first, let me take you through the divorce situation. So I got divorced and I had to get back out here dating. And I think I was maybe 45 and I had been with my ex for, almost 30 years. That was crazy. The way that people are dating and doing things now, I didn't even know how to play. I didn't even know how to play the game. So I just decided to be Stephanie. I knew how to be Stephanie, but I didn't know how to be like all these new dating stuff that people are doing. I didn't know how to do that. Okay, so I said, I'm just going to be Stephanie. I'm just going to be me, and it's going to, be what it's going to be. I knew what I was bringing to the table. So basically, I came as myself. I'm old-fashioned. All this newfangled stuff that y'all doing, I don't know anything about it. What are you bringing to the table? And God linked me up with somebody that had the same old-fashioned values and was actually trying to court, because the new way that they do things now, nobody's courting, nobody's doing any of that anymore. Y'all may not even be going out to restaurants or nothing. I mean, none of that is going on. Everybody I don't want to say what they're doing, but they're doing a whole bunch of stuff, but none of the old-fashioned dating stuff that used to go on back in the day. Like I said, some of the new people that doesn't know me, I was married for almost 30 years. So to come back out here and try to, get back in this market with these people, there was no way I could play the way that they was playing. No way. And be comfortable with it. But I did want to try new things. So I decided to do the online dating. I figured that was a way that I could meet a whole lot of different people and kind of figure it out, because I had been with one person for so long. And that's what worked best for me. Now, a lot of people don't like the online dating, but really and truly, you don't know the guy that you meet in the grocery store. You don't know the guy that you meet when you're out and about, when you're out with girlfriends. You don't know him either. So I tell people you have to take your time, and anybody that is truly interested in you will just talk to you. Like the old-fashioned way. Like we talked for 2 months before we even met. But nowadays you got to worry about the catfish. You got to worry about this, that, and the other. But see, the one thing that I wasn't worried about, if he wasn't who he said he was, or if I didn't like it, you just say next. Again, when you know what you're bringing to the table, you don't have to worry about all of the bad stuff that come along with it. You just say next. If you don't have things in common, if they're not looking for a relationship, you just say next. You just say next. It doesn't matter. You just say next. There's a whole world out there of people. If you don't have the same things in common, you're not looking for the same thing, you're not trying to have a good time, you're not trying to laugh, you refuse to argue all the time and they want to argue, next. Too old for that. So I just came up with some rules for myself, and they work for me. And they work for me. And any of the single people that want to try my tips, we can talk about that offline, because, some people are scared to admit it. Everybody say, I'm good, I'm sick of the dating scene, but what, you gonna stay by yourself forever? You just have to learn how to say next. You don't accept the one that is not working. You have to learn how to say next. And you work with the one that want the same thing as you. It seems so simple, but I swear to God, y'all, it is just that simple. If you get rid of the ones that don't come in alignment with what you're trying to do or your values. At the time that I was doing, okay, so like I said, back to the beginning. We piggybacking on last week because we got some people just not coming on board. So last week, we talked about the man you want and like being ready for him when he come. Okay, and I got a lot of questions about divorce because people have known me for a long time. There's like, Stephanie, how did you do it? How did you do it? Divorce is hard. It takes a lot to walk away, especially after being together as long as we have been together. Divorce is hard. But when you believe in your value, when you bringing something to the table, when you're a good person, you can, move on to the next happy life. You're not going to be stuck in that period of just being alone. You're not. Now, you can choose to be stuck. And that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. They're just, scared to start over. I was too. But the other was not, I couldn't do that either. So therefore, I was pushed into having to start over. And then at the same time, so now my new normal looks like what? I'm single. I'm now a single parent, even though she had a dad that was in her life, but I'm still responsible for my daughter. And she watching me. She watching everything I do. She watching how I go through this transition and everything. She watching everything I do. And at the same time as me trying to get back out here, get used to my new normal, start my life over, start dating, I still got to deal with her dad, When they come, I had to set the boundaries for that so that he doesn't interfere over here in this new life, because he the old life. We got the new life over here. And I'm telling y'all, that's hard. That's hard to do because, I didn't hate him or anything, but I had to set boundaries of old life, new life. And I think I can clearly say, and I think Alex would agree, that it never ever was a problem when we were dating of any of my old stuff funneling into our new, because you had to set the boundaries. But again, my child is watching me. You got to watch what you say. It's very, very hard. So like I tell everybody, I do not recommend anybody getting divorced. Yes, I found happiness on the other side. But I also agreed to create a relationship with somebody that wanted the same things as me. Alex wanted a relationship. I wanted a relationship. So I wasn't trying to meet people who didn't want a relationship. And there's plenty of people out here that, they ain't trying to get to know you. Me and Alex talked on the phone for 2 months before we even met face to face. Not many people nowadays will do that. But like I said, I was looking for someone that was coming with the same old-fashioned values as myself. So let's recap again. So what am I saying? So if you guys decide to get back out here, and I'm not telling you to, I'm trying to give you the good and the bad. Yes, because you see the good side. So that's why everybody keeps asking, Stephanie, how did you do it? How did you get divorced? How did you push forward? How did you, quit after so many years? It was time. It was time. It was time. And I got a pass from God. So I was on good accord when I started over. I was on good accord, It's some reasons that you can get divorced. But sometimes you can't just get divorced because you're not getting along, because it's not good anymore. Because in 30 years, it wasn't always good. You have to, work your way through that thing. So if you're not willing to if you have not done all of that, you shouldn't even be talking about divorce. You shouldn't even be talking about divorce at all. At all. I mean, you got to go through all of that. You got to go through counseling. You got to do a whole lot of things before you just throw in the towel. You should not be talking about divorce if you have not tried everything. Now, sometimes you just don't have a choice, like myself, and you have to get divorced. So then that's when the hard part comes in. You got to be willing to push through all this other stuff on the other side, because it's a lot that comes with it. It's a lot that comes with it, trying to juggle your new normal and your old life. Anybody got any questions? Because I know y'all got some. Like I said, we recapping from last week for the new people that's joining. Everybody was asking last week, well, how did I know Alex was the one? And for one, he did not interrupt my peace. For me being married all that time and getting divorced, I had just got to my peace in those years that I was by myself. But my peace was very important to me. Very important to me. My peace was very important to me. So anybody that came and interrupted that peace, they weren't it. He did not do that. Anybody that came, I'm talking about people that I were meeting that, wanted to fuss and argue, I had already done that. I wasn't doing that either. If you couldn't communicate, you weren't it. I wanted a praying man. Alex was a praying man. So with certain things that I wanted this time, that I could not, it was just certain things that I had to have. And there were certain things that he was looking for this time, because he had been divorced before. So, but I tell people, anybody that jumps over there to that divorce game is tough. And trying to figure out your new normal and have boundaries on your old life is very, very hard to do it in front of your children and do it right. And I vowed to do it right. I ain't fuss and argue with my ex. Everybody about to be happy. You about to get on and I'm about to get on. Everybody about to be happy. So there was no need. You only fuss and argue when it's not time. When it's time, everything goes smoothly, even though it took us still about a year to actually get divorced. But in that time, I was just doing me. I was getting myself together. And anybody you meet who is not trying to change and grow, run. Run. If you meet them at this stage of the game, 40s, 50s, and they're not willing to make no changes, run. Run. Because none of us are perfect. And I'm changing every day. I'm changing every day. And that was the one thing about Alex. He let me be me. I like to exercise. I like to play tennis. I could still do that. He did not interrupt my world. And I let him do him. He likes to chill, relax. So as I went and did that, he could get his relax on. After he worked them long hour days that he worked, it was a match made in heaven. And we had a good time. Doing something or doing nothing. Okay, I ain't seen no questions yet. Y'all had some questions last week. I must have hit them all. Questions? Questions? Well, I'm going to tell y'all 3 ways I pushed through my new normal. I developed daily rituals every day from, it's been like, 7 years now, 7, 8 years. Before my feet hit the floor, I pray, get my mind right, because you don't know what you're going to have to be faced with that day. Every day, daily rituals. I changed me. I made Stephanie better. I didn't try to change everybody else. I made Stephanie better. I learned how to respond and react differently. Because again, the boundaries and the new normal, I didn't have to argue with you over here anymore. That's old stuff. New normal, I can be pleasant. just like I want to be. Daily rituals, every morning, before my feet hit the floor. Pray, meditate, get my mind right. Speak good things into your life. Every day. Every day, whatever it is that you want. New house, new spouse, new job, whatever it is, speak it. Speak good things. And then move towards it. Number 2, I believed in my value. I knew I was bringing good things to the table. I'm a good person. I had a lot of good things going on for me. I thought well of myself. I am a good person. Most people that know me will agree. I am a good person. So there was no like, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Yes, I am. I had none of that. None of that negativity. None of that negativity around me. Believe in your value. Believe in what you bring to the table. That's number 2. And again, like I said, number 3, what do you believe about you? If you don't believe you're worthy, if you believe you just gonna, get divorced and you're gonna be lonely out here by yourself, that's exactly the type of life you're gonna have. If you're scared to stay next, if you're scared to say next to the guys that you meet because you're scared that the next one not gonna come, he not. But you can only be like that when you know what you bring to the table. Please don't be scared to say next. Please don't be scared to say next. Don't try to turn nothing into something. And that's what I think, that's what I see personally. I see a lot of people do. Clearly we can see, he's not good for her. She's not good for him. But they're still together a whole year later, trying to make it fit, trying to make it work. That's not happiness. I really mean it when I say go from relationship rehab to the fairy tale. If you want the fairy tale, you have to say next. You have to say next. There's no way to get to the fairy tale without saying next. You're trying to make it fit. You're trying to make it fit. And it shouldn't have to fit. It should just work. It should be so easy. And another thing, it's going to be totally different than the previous. We already know that didn't work. So why are we going out here again looking for the same thing because we think that's our type? Next, pick something different. Do something different. Like I said, I tried the online dating. I've never tried that before. But I wasn't scared of it. What's the worst thing that could happen? I got exactly what I wanted from it. I wanted to meet different people. We see warning signs early on. Exactly. And just try to make it fit. The warning signs are like ding, 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 ding. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Oh, but he's a nice person most of the time. If they are not changing or working on themselves, run. Anybody that think that they are all that got it going on, they don't have to make no changes, but everything is wrong with you, run. Run. I am not perfect, but I do wake up every day, try to be nice to everybody. I mean, I have genuinely so glad this time. Yes. Yeah. Because you chose something different this time. You chose something different this time. Yep. Don't be scared to choose something different. I promise you, your joy and your happiness is not in the same thing that you had. I can bet money on it. It's not in the same thing that you had. It's a reason that it came to an end. It's a reason. I was scared too. Meeting people online. I hadn't even dated. I got all y'all beat. Come on now. Being with somebody as long as I was married before, I hadn't even dated. And I got online. And he should have pursued you. That's what guys do. That's another thing I didn't do. I didn't click on not one guy online. A man that's interested is going to click on you. And then you're going to see if what you like and what he like lines up. If it does, then maybe y'all will talk outside of the network. But if it don't, next. Ain't no need to give no number or nothing if it don't line up. You're making it fit. Any more questions? I gave y'all my 3 things. Change is hard. Divorce is hard. I go see him, he doesn't come see me. Well, that ain't good. So why would you do that? Am I misunderstanding? So he never comes to see you? Well, that sounds like that doesn't fit. I don't have all the information, but you have my number, Christy, so you can call me and tell me. We can talk about that. There you go. That's right, Tina. Tell her. You got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. See, that's what makes you accept. That's what makes you scared for saying next. When you know your worth, next. When you know you're bringing good stuff to the table, next. You do not even have to do it. He thinks I want to come there all the time. Well, then you need to maybe stop going and see who's really interested in who. Because a man that's interested in you is going to come see you. Period. I don't care how far. Alex drove all the way across town. I think I went that way once or twice when we first met. Next. Yes, ma'am. Here's all your support. Everybody telling you, say next. Say next. So what else? Like I said, for those of you just jumping on, if nobody is willing to make any changes, run. If they want you to buy into this person that they are, you don't see them doing anything that's trying to make them a better person, because we all need work now. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is 100%. I'm still working on me. I'm still working on how I react and respond. Sometimes I just got to be quiet. Sometimes I go pray before I say anything. Sometimes I just wait 2 days. I be all mad on the inside. I don't say a word because it ain't gonna come out right. And I'm usually wrong. How about that? Who can do that? Just be quiet. Don't say nothing. I'm being honest. I'm trying to help some people. This is honest conversations. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all this support you're getting. Everybody said next and it's worked out for them. To me, that's the biggest thing I see with the single people that are still single. They're scared to say next. Or they think the person is going to change, or, all of that. Most people aren't changing that much. I mean, when you meet them, that's pretty much who they are. But when I say, if they're not changing or growing, run, I'm saying trying to be a better person. If they're still trying to get you to buy into them being selfish, well, I've always been this way. Don't make it right. So they telling you right then and there, you ain't going to never come first. Selfish people, that's how that works. You are never going to come first. They're going to always be first. Who would sign up for that? Really? So when I was out here, figuring out what I wanted this go round, I had specifics, as I told y'all last week. Specific things. And you guys have specific things. Yeah, being quiet is hard. Trust and believe. I still work on that too. But that's what I'm telling you. I'm honest. I'm not perfect. But I'm a whole lot better than from 7 years ago. Whole lot better. Whole lot. I learned a whole lot. I learned a whole lot. But I'm saying, you know, everybody is changing and growing and getting older and, you know, bringing baggage from the previous relationship. And, you know, that's another thing. You know, realizing what is your baggage that you're bringing. Everybody has baggage too. Young, old, you know, you've been divorced twice or you've been divorced one time. You know, so now you come over here and you got all this strength that you done had to carry for the years you was by yourself before you got into the next relationship. That's baggage. You know, now it's hard for you to like let some of that strength go. You know, because now it's a shift. Now you're in a relationship. Now you don't need to be as strong as you should need to be. You got some help now. You got some, I'm just saying, this is conversations that we need to have, y'all. Conversations, you know, for me, I had to get used to the new normal. That's what I had to do. I had to figure it out after being married for so long. Now I was out here by myself, so I had to date and I had to help my daughter make the transition, you know, to divorce. Alex was actually the first guy that my daughter ever met. I dated other people before Alex, but he was the only person my daughter met. So I dated when she was at her dad's, you know, every other weekend. So that's how I dated. So she didn't meet anybody until she met Alex, and then that was it. That was it. Woo, yes. Now we talked about that a couple weeks ago, being vulnerable. That's tough, but you have to be. It's very hard. It's very hard. But you know what's the worst that can happen? And somebody said that to me. You can get hurt, right? You already been hurt. And guess what we're going to say? Next. We're going to learn from that, and we're going to say next. Because until you're vulnerable, you can't even figure out if really he is the person for you. You have to come down. You have to. Like I said, I was making it happen. Me and Autumn, me and my daughter, me and Autumn, I was making it happen. You know, then you got to kind of, you know, change some of that when you get with the guy that, you know, you think, okay, well, he talking like he got some sense. This might work. So I don't have to be all of that for everybody now. And like I said, he came and did not interrupt my peace. And my daughter was still happy. And then when I met his children, we didn't have any blended family issues. I'm like, boy, you couldn't tell me nothing. This is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I didn't even want, and that's what I mean about change. Let me see, Autumn was almost done with high school when we met. I think she's in the 10th grade. I didn't even want anybody with kids. I wanted them to have older kids like Autumn, but it ended up being the best thing. So again, what you think is good for you, you really gotta just take some time and see, because what I thought I wanted, that probably wouldn't have worked. And what I thought I didn't want, worked. And like I said, I chose somebody totally different. Totally different. So again, y'all, I want everybody here to create daily rituals. Like I said, every morning before my feet hit the floor, I pray, get my mind right, get ready for the day. So I can brush off all of the people that's coming with negativity and all that. That's why I can clearly say every time I get a call from one of my deals that I'm doing, they'll be like, man, you always so happy. Yep. Yep, and it's real. Regardless of what's going on, I can be happy. And you may not be happy, but I'm going to be happy because it means a lot. It means a lot to me. I think you have to address your daddy issues. Yep. You have to, before you go into your next relationship, you have to address issues. You know, like I said, I had to, when I first started dating, I think I was choosing who I had been with all those years. And I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? This is not working. That's when I realized I was choosing the same thing. That's what I tell you. Most likely, you're going to have to choose something different to get something different. important to be equally yoked when determining what you want. Yep, we talked about that last week, Shawnee. Absolutely. I mean, the things that I prayed for this time and asked God for, well, he sent them. He sent them in Alex. But when he came, I almost missed it because I was like, nah, ain't nobody this nice. He had all the stuff, though, that I asked God for. So then when he sent them, I almost missed it because I had the guard up big time. Big time. And slowly but surely, because he was patient, you know, I let the guard down. I let the guard down. So again, I'm going to go back to those 3 things that I had to do. Daily rituals. I believed in my value, what I was bringing to the table. And what do you believe about you? Who do you believe that you are? I mean, I need everybody to believe who they are. Make some changes. Be willing to make some changes to get to what you want. Be willing to make some changes to get to what you want. And again, if nobody is changing, run. If they trying to sell you on everything that they got going for them, and as you spend time with them, no, run. Run, 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 run. Run. Any more questions? Let's see how long we've been on here. Okay, not bad, not bad. Just 35 minutes. Hey, for the ones that's just starting, last week we talked about the man you want. So we continued that today. Last week, a lot of people asked me about after being with somebody a long time and getting divorced. So we answered that. Please go back and listen to it if you guys are just joining. If you guys like what you heard today, please share this Facebook Live. I would appreciate it. If you guys want to talk anymore offline, I always come back to this live and kind of answer questions that people maybe I miss your questions. I try to come back and answer them. If not, we'll pick it back up on the next week. Again, you can hit me on my website, relationshiprehabspecialist.com. You can check me out there. That has my story on there for some of you who don't know my story. Any more questions? Trying to make sure I covered all my points. Any more questions? Do you think you should be alone for at least 6 months to a year with a bad breakup? Yeah. You definitely need to take some time to be by yourself after a bad breakup. I mean, you gotta, like I said, you gotta get used to your new normal. And if you immediately jump back out there, you just jumping right back into, you haven't even healed from the previous. You haven't even learned what went wrong in the initial, breakup. You have got to take some time to yourself. Send me a link to check out. Relationshiprehabspecialist.com. But I'll post it so you guys can get it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, do not jump out of one relationship directly into another. I've known several people that do that, and now they're ready to jump again. They did not take the time. And another thing, for the single people who've been together, who've been by themselves for a long time, it's kind of hard to... I had been single by myself a long time, but because I had been married so long, when the next person came in, I had to learn how to share all over again and everything. Everything is not all about you. It's a partnership, so when they're coming in, they got to get some stuff that they want. You got to get some stuff that you want, can you get your needs met along with them getting their needs met? That's the thing. That's the partnership. Can everybody really be happy, or is it you that's always trying to be happy? Run. Run. Run from selfish people. Run. Selfish does not change. They do not change. They do not change. It's always about them. If it's always about them, run. It ain't never about you. Run. Run, 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 run. And again, we talked about being vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable this go round. You got to be vulnerable. Yep. May have to buy some running shoes. You got to run. But just don't be scared to say next. I think that will get most of us over the hurdle. If we're not scared to say next, try the next guy, because you may really be missing it. I'm telling you, we're going to talk about how to get from relationship rehab to the fairy tale. To the fairy tale. That's what we're trying to get to. And the fairy tale is not my fairy tale. It's whatever you're looking for in your fairy tale. Whatever works for you. That's your fairy tale. Doesn't have to be what Stephanie was looking for. It's whatever you're looking for. Whatever works for your fairy tale works for you. That's what you're trying to get to. But you're not trying to get with somebody that messes up your peace. And your peace is attached to your fairy tale. Love you back. Yeah, hey, I've been through a lot, honey, but I'm still standing. And I'm in my fairy tale. And I want everybody else to get to theirs too, if that's what they want. But I think most of us, who don't want to be loved? Really? Who don't want to be loved? I appreciate that. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Like I said, each Monday, it's 8 p.m. now, not 7:30, because I had to give myself time to unwind and do some stuff. So I'm going to get off of here unless somebody else got some more questions. I'm writing a book, so I'm trying to do a little bit of that each night. So I'm going to have a book coming out soon. I'm glad you stopped by too. Every Monday, 8 o'clock, Facebook Live. Every Monday. And like I said, hit me in the messenger if you got any questions. We can talk further. I don't like to keep people too long, but I like to hit on some points. I like to give you a takeaway, add some value, and I hope that I did. And if I did, please share. I've been working on this book for years. I'm finally getting it done. I keep picking it up, putting it down. So it's about to happen. 2019 is going to be awesome. And it'll be awesome for all of you guys if you make some changes. Make some changes. Yes, yeah. Rewatch. And like I said, if you're coming in on the end and you rewatch it, you got some questions, just hit me up and I will go back and check and respond. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.